The price God has me to pay for taking time and to listen to the Holy Spirit and get apostolic messages and then researching it in the Word so that I know that it came from God, is grueling, actually. There's times when you're really up about it, even the Holy Spirit speaks to me directly and says, like he did at the end when he sent me to Psalm 110, verse 1, it lifts me up. But most of the time, it's quite grueling. And I told Carol, I said, even though it is that way, I wouldn't trade it for what some of these other pastors who have this church, and all they do is teach milk over and over and over. They're easy sermons. They don't have to dig deep. They're not under any stress because they have people that take care of every problem they got. And I wouldn't trade what I got for that. I wouldn't trade what I got for that because they don't hear God like they could have or could hear God. And I know that for a fact because, like I said earlier, I've never heard of one of them on television say, wait a minute, the Holy Spirit's speaking to me. Wait a minute, the Holy Spirit just corrected me. The Holy Spirit just added something to my message. Not a one. They always pretend like they've heard God, or whatever. They've heard him yesterday or last week or whatever. They dug this message out of their file cabinet that they taught 17 times before, and they make it look like they're men of God. They hear God 24/7, when if they hear God 24/7, then why ain't God speaking to them during the time they're giving a message? See the lie? I don't know. It's kind of a scary thing. It should be a scary thing for them because a lot of them just putting on a show and making people think they hear God 24/7 when they don't. How do I know they don't? Because I pretty much hear God 24/7. And I know the price you pay. There's stress involved because the devil then comes in and tries to beat you up. I mean, it's like it's an ongoing war all the time. It doesn't quit. It won't quit till I leave this earth and with the Lord, whether he comes for me or I go. So I don't listen to many of these preachers anymore. They're good for one thing, teaching the milk. After you've learned the milk, you need to hear God. These pastors and preachers, after they've learned the milk, need to hear God. But they don't want to do that because if they hear God, they're going to have to go into deeper things that doesn't line up with their denominational doctrine. And they'll lose their people. I mean, there was a preacher on this morning saying that you shouldn't do online. I don't know how he put it. I wasn't watching it. Harold told me about it later. Because you shouldn't be doing online ministry or online church. You should come back to the building. Well, see, there's some truth in that. If you got children and they're not online listening to sermons, bring them back because they'll learn something. Even the Baptists teach them something in Sunday school, so that's good. So see the partial truth, though? Why could you not have both? Think about it. And so, I was talking to Carol, and I said, that's the problem with the church. Oh, they'll do this, but they don't do that. Why can't they do both? Especially since God's commanded them to do both. We don't have a children's ministry here. We used to. And we had families come with children, but we don't have them now. But if God was to tell me to have one again, I'd have it. And we'd be teaching milk in the classrooms. We got classrooms downstairs for children. And we would teach the milk because that's all they can understand. But up here, we would not be teaching any milk. If we have any adults that don't understand the depth of what we're teaching, then I would encourage them, go down there and sit with the children. And hopefully you grow with the children, to the point you can hear the serious things of God. This book is filled with the serious things of God. You saw how serious he is there? So we can't take that lightly. If we take that lightly, then we've just written God off as, the joker, or someone who's just, and he's not. He's the God that will send your soul to hell for all eternity if you don't truly have a relationship with him. And how do you know if you truly have a relationship with him? you hear him 24/7. And maybe not 24/7 at first, but I hear him in my sleep. I hear him in the bathroom. I hear him when I'm riding in the car. I hear him when I get to church. I hear him when I'm preaching. So I can't say that's 24/7 every second or minute of the day, but I can say it's 24/7 in the way that I'm open to hear him whenever he wants to speak to me, whether I'm sleeping, in the bathroom, on my way to church, driving, or at the church, or preaching a message. He has my permission to speak to me at any time. Because when he speaks to me, he'll speak truth. He'll speak correction. He'll speak about who he really is. He'll speak in depth. Heard Rabbi Snyder the other day talk about when God spoke to him something, I forget what it was, but see, I like Rabbi Snyder. He's teaching stuff that the Lord gave me 10, 15, 20 years ago. But I like that. But he spoke about when God spoke to him, and I've said this many times, when God speaks, it's just not a word. It ain't like reading a word in a book. It's power. When he speaks, that's why when I'm doing the messages, I have some high points, because when he speaks, it's like, ooh, it's powerful. Say, and he was talking about one word. He said God spoke to him, and he spoke in such power. He'd never heard that before. He's talking about his early ministry, and it changed his life forever.